that anxiety was real, it was there. And when the announcement came out for the Chorus sound processor, hi everyone, David Cluff here. I am so excited to talk to you about the Chorus sound processor from Advanced Bionics. I got this processor a year ago and I just want to share my thoughts and what it has been like for me. The Chorus sound processor is a body-worn processor for the first generation cochlear implant recipients by Advanced Bionics. And crazy enough, I am actually one of the first generation recipients, and that is just for my right ear. And the reason why it's like first generation is because I got it prior to like 2000 or 1999. I can't remember that break off, but before that period, the internal device is only compatible up to a certain processor. And so it requires a different strategy for new processors to be compatible with it. And so with all the new technology coming out, it is becoming harder and harder for the internal device on the first generation to keep up with the new systems without completely draining the battery life. And if you know anyone that has a first generation internal device, can tell you the battery life is not the greatest at that point. And so for years I was changing my battery every 3 to 4 hours. I was lucky at one point to only have to change it every 6 hours, and that was like amazing. And past a year before getting the Chorus upgrade, I was changing it at least every 4 hours. And I cannot tell you the battery life anxiety that I was getting thinking about, okay, when is my battery gonna die next? Is it gonna die when I'm giving a presentation at work? Is it going to die when I'm doing conference meetings? Is it going to die when I'm driving? Is it going to die when I'm flying and trying to communicate with somebody while I'm doing important things at like security checkout? I don't know. It was constantly in my head of when is it going to die. And they did have an indicator on the processor when it was going to die, but I could not see. I don't have eyes to see where the light is, and so I had no indication unless somebody points it out, but who's going to really notice to tell me, hey, your implant is, or your processor is blinking red, it's going to die soon. That's just not going to happen. And so that anxiety was real, it was there. And when the announcement came out for the Chorus sound processor upgrade, I was like super excited at first because it was talking about all-day battery life, waterproofing kit, wireless technology, and streaming music, and all these things. And I was ecstatic. But then I found out it's a body-worn processor. And for those of you that don't understand what a body-worn processor is not literally a body like suit at all. It is literally like as if I'm wearing a pager. And so it's just this little guy right here. I don't know if it's gonna focus, but that's the processor, and the wire goes up under my shirt, and then it connects to the, there's a wire that goes up to my T-Com. T-Com system allows me to use my T-Mic, which is right here. And then while that's also connected to the microphone, it wraps up to the headpiece, the external headpiece where the magnet is, and that's where the coils are able to transmit and connect to the internal device. And so the reason why it is so big is because this battery right here, this battery is what gives me that 24+ hour range of hearing, and it is amazing. I am going to just say that because I did not realize how much freedom it gave me to be able to hear all day without having that battery anxiety. Oh my gosh, it's just, I wake up, I put it on, and I don't worry about it till I go to bed. Like, it never dies on me, it never has. And so I if there's ever one reason to upgrade, in my opinion, would be to get that battery life. I mean, it is big, but man, it is a huge relief for me to have that. And so to kind of put that in perspective, I was carrying around between, let's see, 5 batteries a day just to get through the day, and I would like leave for the office at 7 in the morning, and I would be up working with home projects or with the kids till at least 10:30, and I would maybe be completely out of battery life by 11 o'clock at night, maybe. Most of the time it was like 10:30 and it was like cut off. I was like, I can't hear anything else from this time on. So that was just like constantly changing my battery every 4 hours. And so to have the upgrade, I turn it on and I can almost go through all day up till midnight, not having to change my battery, and still get a good amount of hours in the morning without having to charge it. And so I went on a road trip with my family, and we live in St. Louis, Missouri, and we were going to visit family in Utah and Idaho, and our first stop was Utah, and we drove straight through. And the cool thing about that is usually we would stop in Denver, spend the night, because one of the main reasons why we had to stop was so I can charge my batteries. And this time around, I'm like, we don't necessarily need to stop. We have young kids, they're already sleeping. Let's just drive through. And so we left early in the morning on a Friday and drove all that day and got there late Friday night, so that way we were able to be where we wanted to be Saturday. And that whole drive from St. Louis to Utah, I never once had to change my battery. That was amazing and mind-blowing to me that I did not have to do that, and that just like completely, again, relieved me of that battery range anxiety. The other things that are really, really fascinating that came with the Chorus processor, if you select it as part of your bundle, is the Roger Select. The Roger Select or the Roger Pen, those are wireless microphone technology. And the Roger, the reason why they call it the Roger is another form of like a Bluetooth transmission. It's in that family of transmitters, and so the Roger, that's why it's called the Roger. And it's made by Phonak. Phonak is a partner with Advanced Bionics, which makes my cochlear implants and sound processors. And this partnership, I love my Roger Select. I may be cheesy right now, but I cannot tell you how much I love it. It's transformed the way that I hear music, the way that I enjoy conference meetings. I plug this into my computer, and I hear everything way more clear than just wearing headphones and having it muffled into my microphone, and the pain that I have of trying to put headphones over my ears that already have so much on my ears already. This is just wireless, and it's a beauty to me. It's just amazing. The other cool thing about the Roger Select is I can take it to a restaurant, and I'm going on a date with my wife, and I can put it on the table, and I can have either all 6 microphones on, or I can have it to direct only at her and only at me, so I can still kind of hear myself, but also hear her clearly. And it eliminates most of the background that's going on in the restaurant. This allowed me to enjoy a date all the more better than ever before. For a long time, we were choosing places that almost had nobody there, or we would literally take takeout and eat in the car. This just made it possible for me to be able to enjoy our favorite restaurants and be in there, well, before COVID, but to be there and to be able to enjoy each other's company. And so that is amazing. The other thing you can do is it does have 6 microphones. I can set it on a table in a conference meeting, and it will pick up whoever is speaking automatically. And that to me is also a great feature to have especially in my field of work. When I was doing meetings, when I was in the office full time, I was able to just easily pick up all that information and be more confident and being able to run with any direction that's given. So very, very grateful for this partnership with Phonak and for the Riser Select and the many capabilities that I can do with it. It's amazing. The other thing that is really cool that I recently got to do is the waterproof kit or Aqua Kit by Advanced Bionics for the Chorus processor. This allows me to put my processor in the kit and go swimming with it and hear everything that is going on around me. And so you have the waterproof kit, the case, the protective case, then they give you an Aqua mic, so that way your microphone system doesn't get damaged, but this Aqua mic is absolutely amazing. And it has some really cool technology packed in here where it has like some special mesh inside, layering it, the microphone and protecting it from the water while not sacrificing the sound quality. And most waterproofing systems might have like a plasticky wrap over it, so it kind of gives that plasticky sound. This does not do that. It does not sound like that. It's the most amazing feeling to be able to be in the pool and hear my kids and hear them say, "Daddy, look at me do this trick." I mean, that was just amazing for me. And I keep saying amazing in this video, and you could probably do a counter how many times I'm saying that, but I am truly hands down impressed with all of the technology that has come out for the first generation users and recipients. I mean, I'm only speaking from my own experience on this, but in the last 21 years that I've had a cochlear implant, oh, not 20, it's been more than 21 years. Oh my gosh. Has it been 21? 21 years, maybe, yeah. Give or take. Anyway, it just, the journey that I've been on with hearing and the technology, this by far has been one of my favorites, just because I've been able to experience changing my battery every 3 hours to not having to change it during the day. I went through many, many, many years not being able to hear the pool, and it was mostly silent for me. To being able to hear my kids for the first time in the pool and hear what water sounds like. Now, water sounds bubbly. I never thought about that until I did it. So that was pretty cool to hear that sound effects in water and how that relates. And it was amazing to me. Again, amazing. And so all these different devices that have come together to really enhance my hearing journey has been something that I have learned to love and to appreciate. Appreciating that it may not be perfect to have a body processor, and it's not the most glamorous sometimes, but it gave me the opportunity to experience something different, experience what it's like to go all day hearing without changing a battery, or have that sudden dead drop where everything goes silent automatically and you have to figure out, can I change my battery right now? Am I driving, or do I need to pull over? Do I need to ask somebody to change it for me? Or my personal favorite, I'll be talking to somebody and I'll say, "One moment, I need you to pause. My battery died, I need to change it." And so that's kind of my experience with the Chorus Sound Processor by Advanced Bionics in the last year, and it's been so much fun. It has been rewarding. I've had to learn how to like what I wear and maybe get used to different things with it, but for the most part I've loved it. I've enjoyed it. It has been quite an interesting experience to go throughout my whole lifetime of different upgrades that I've had, from when I did have the very first body processor to upgrading to a behind the ear processor. That was a milestone. And then going from that processor to something a little bit different of a programming was also equally amazing to, I mean, it's just been a fun journey, and that is what it's all about, is a journey of hearing and a journey of trying new things and seeing what works and what doesn't and keep moving on. So That's all I really have for today. I will be going into more detail about how the waterproofing kit works. I'll go into more detail about the different programs that I use. But for today, I just kind of want to do overcap or a review of the Chorus sound processor and how that has changed my life and affected my day-to-day. And the best things of it is the all-day battery life. And that is something I am so grateful for right now. If you have any questions about the processor or anything else about my hearing journey, please feel free to leave a comment below, or you can follow me on Instagram. I am more active on there and am able to respond to questions more quickly. And I am excited to see what comes next, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!